For our lifestyle segment, but before we delve into that, just want to let you know that Ghana's most beautiful launch is happening live in Cape Coast. There will be a pre-launch party bash, and that is on the 18th of July at 4 p.m. at Samrit Hotel. The bash will feature popular musicians and artists from Cape Coast. Then the grand launch will follow on Sunday, 20th of July at Victoria Park at 3 p.m. sharp. It will be a display of glitz, glamour and culture at its peak, and it'll also be live on TV3. Of course, Ghana's most beautiful, redefining beauty to promote national unity. Also want to give a shout out to my costume sponsors this morning, Fashion Trends in Tema Community 4 at the Chemu Junction. Make sure you go and check them out. All right, onto our lifestyle segment. You just saw that wonderful display of cruising, getting on the jet skis, or when most people want to have some relaxing time, maybe getting on the boat, get onto one of our local rivers, or get into our ocean and have fun. But obviously, I said the last few days we have had our maritime coastline in the news for the wrong reasons, because obviously of Castro. So we're going to be looking in particular at the safety aspects of jet skiing, and also the dangers of jet skiing, and what should you even be taught. What are the safety aspects? Who should train you to operate one of those machines alone? Just want to remind you that our lifestyle segment, of course, is brought to you by Lipton Tea, the world's #1 tea brand. So if you haven't had your mug of Lipton yet, make sure you get it. All right, so I have with me my guest, who is the CEO of Echo 3 Concepts, Mr. Mawufumo Noigbe. Did I get it right?
I think Mawufumo Noigbe.
Okay. Okay, I was close. I was close. Mawufumo. I got that. Thank you very much. Looking at that video when it began with the guy on the jet ski, just like vroom, 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 vroom. It's like, it looks very exciting. It looks like a lot of fun, but it's a bit eerie for me, because I've seen a video on the internet which has Castro literally doing a similar thing, which is literally all over the internet right now, of him on the jet ski. It's very similar. Most people get on jet skis are safe. We hear, it's usually not that dangerous. But first and foremost, when it comes to jet skis, are they considered safe the world over?
Well, thank you very much for the question. Jet ski, or riding a jet ski, is full of fun and excitement, and is designed for both adults and children. But when we are riding a jet ski, we need to consider the safety aspect. Well, jet ski is also called in other parts of the world as personal watercraft. That is why we call it jet ski. It moves with the speed of jets. Okay, and before you get on a jet ski, on the safer side, one, you need to have your life vests, or what we call the life jacket, on, and make sure the life jacket fits you very well, tight on you. This is the reason, because when it's loose on you, and in case of any accident, it can easily fall off from you. Okay, that is one aspect. So we always make sure that your life jacket is tight or fit on you. Now, secondly, before you get on the jet ski, you need to get on it slowly. Now, when you get on it, you need to check your weight, that is your balance, and make sure you position yourself very carefully before you move. Now, before one should move something like a jet ski, the person have to know how to swim.
If you're operating it, not when you're a passenger.
Now, when you're operating it, you should know how to swim. One. So after you know all these things, now and you check your balance and you move. Jet ski moves with, it has a lever. It does not have a brake like other vehicles or other
like
motorbikes, but it has a lever. Immediately you press on the lever, it moves.
It starts moving.
And when you release your hand,
it
stops. It stops automatically. So what we need to do as passengers, people that are using jet ski, like the way we are seeing on a distance. That side, he is riding on a rough ocean. Okay, yes,
and he's going with a lot of speed.
A lot of speed, and you can see the waves, and he's bumping into the waves. This is on the seaside. All right. Now, on the river too, you do have a similar, but it's much more safer
because the river is still.
Because the river is calm.
Calmer.
It's calm. Yes. So on the safety aspect, we need to look at some of these things before we get on a jet ski.
Okay, I've been on a jet ski once in my life. It was actually in Ghana. We went to at a resort, and we had the main jet ski operator who was in front, and there was me and another passenger.
Okay.
Of course, before we went on it, we all had our life jackets, and then he told us, I'm a shanty and I can't swim. I cannot swim. I can float in the water, but I can't swim. I can maybe paddle around in the pool. So I literally remember saying, "Oh my goodness!" But in being adventurous, he actually told us all the safety things. Hold on tight. All three of you hold on tight. I told him don't speed, and then I also said, in case we fall in, obviously both people I was with could swim. I'm like, please save me. I didn't take any chances, but I wouldn't go on a jet ski without a life jacket. We're hearing of reports that the passenger with Castro did not have a life jacket. Not to focus on that. However, most people when they go on holiday want to have a experience of being on one. Is it advisable to go on such a powerful machine without having your safety gear on?
Well, with what we're hearing about Castro and the female passenger, I think it was an unfortunate situation. Normally, you don't get on a jet ski without the necessary safety precautions. One, and Castro, as we heard, was on a life jacket.
Yes.
But the lady was not. Now, listening to the report from my team on the ground, it was like they were moving straight into the estuary.
Which is closer to the sea.
Which is closer to the sea. It's where around this time, let me say it, around this time, in and around Adanfo or the estuary, from June, July, August, we experience what we call underwater current.
What does that mean? Is strong.
That is it. You see on top of it, it's very calm. On the top of the river, it's very calm. But beneath it, there's a lot of movement because you have other tributes that are feeding into the estuary because we are in the rainy season. You understand? So around this time, the estuary is well flooded. So you have all these water bodies pushing into the sea. And you see, and because of the construction of the Kitad Sea Defense and now currently ongoing the Adan Sea Defense, the sea have no more space. So the only space it has into the land is that little space at the estuary. So the sea is also pushing in. So there's something kind of friction going on there. So when they get there, from listening to my team, I believe strongly that they were struck by a strong wave at the estuary.
Okay.
And the lady fell. So to make why they saw the jet ski floating with the life jacket on, this is the conclusion I've come to, that I believe Castro might try to remove the life jacket to give to the girl
because she can't swim.
Because she can't swim. And I believe in the process there's another wave that came through and hit him as well. So they both fell into that deepest part of the estuary.
This is the first time I'm hearing this because the reports that which initially came out was that he was wearing a life jacket, she wasn't.
Yes.
But as you said, I know that the jet ski was recovered, and so you're saying now too, and the life jacket too has been recovered.
Yes, according to my people at Azizanya and all this thing, the life jacket and the jet ski were floating.
Floating. Okay.
That is what they saw before they prompted the aqua safari people. So the incident might happen a couple of hours ago because in and around the area people are having fun, people were having, so attention was not there. And meanwhile, to me, honestly, to be honest, to move a jet ski or such a powerful machine into that area around that particular time is more like a suicidal mission. Why am I saying that? One, some of the people who operate these watercraft, especially boats and some of these things, when people come and they want to rent it, there must be an instructor who will tell you.
Always.
Yes.
Yes.
You can go this place, you can ride to this side, you can ride this side. But this is the looking, I don't know the horsepower of the particular jet ski. Whether it's fit to carry two people at the same time. And looking at the weight and at the estuary and looking at the strong wave of the sea coming into the land. Two people, anything at all can happen. So my advice is, normally when we go to such areas, we should seek, advice from the instructors. Actually,
well, okay, let me ask you as well. Generally, I said the facility that I went to, there was a jet ski. I did go on there with an instructor. I had my life jacket on, so did the other person who was on there with us. However, I know people rent it out without going with an instructor, like as he was on there alone. Should that even be done, or should one always? Do you get a license to operate one of these? No. I can go there right now and say, okay, I'm renting, I'm giving you money, and most of them will just give it to me and say, you press this, let go, you put the safety tag on, and that's it. So in terms of that, like, is then maybe where the problem is, because maybe these people who own them and they rent it out and trying to make money are flouting the safety regulations that should really be applied.
I agree with you. In some parts of the world, before you own such a facility, you need to have a license. Have an instructor who will instruct people. If you don't know how to use it, they will take you to wherever you want to go. But this is the situation where we have in Ghana here. We don't have such mechanisms.
You can go to any beach and just rent and go.
Exactly. Even though we don't have it, we expect the hoteliers, people who have those facilities in their premises, to have those instructors because they are renting it out. Okay, but if a client comes and he still wants to use a jet, you must make sure whether he knows how to cruise it, and make sure even you give him a limit to go, because the person,
because there's a line you can't cross.
Exactly.
I remember when I went on, they said, okay, like, we're going to go only as far as this and turn around.
Exactly.
Because we couldn't go further into the ocean. So we knew how far the terrain was that we could go. Because
you as a passenger or as a client, you don't know the terrain very well. You understand? So most of the things needs to be done by the facility operators. You understand? And it's like some of them to the renter, the way we rent it is very wrong. You understand? Like the way you said, we need to have an instructor. And even we need to, some of these rental facilities need to have something like a monitoring gadgets on it. If somebody have not spotted the jet ski floating at that particular time, they will have been there till the evening.
Before maybe
somebody will raise the alarm that we could not find. So these are some of the things that we need to put in place in order to protect or promote water tourism. Water tourism is very good, and recreational activities on water is very good. It's very exciting. It's entertaining. Okay, but the best thing we need to do is to make sure that we take the safety measures or precautions very seriously. You understand? That is the key.
Okay, I want to sort of talk about the role sort of lifeguards play, at least being around facilities like this, where people may take a jet ski out and go and do their cruising out there. One of my favorite shows growing up, which I used to watch in the UK, was Baywatch. And one of the things I watched about Baywatch was about, a bunch of lifeguards, and it kind of taught us that being a great swimmer doesn't mean you'll be a good lifeguard, meaning you can rescue somebody who is drowning. Now, with your experience, in a situation where somebody who can't swim is in the water, we're told Castro is a good swimmer. That's what we're being told from what the reports out there. He probably is a good swimmer, but why wouldn't he be able to rescue the female passenger if you're a good swimmer? Does it, because I said I'm told that just because you're a good swimmer doesn't mean you can actually hold on to somebody who's probably struggling and trying to drag you down with them because they just, they can't help themselves. What do you say about that?
In that case of Castro being a good swimmer, and in that particular place the incident happened, trust me, my sister,
because
that area is deep.
So the current underwater.
It's deep. One is deep, and the current is very rough. Okay, so even if he's a good swimmer, and he's trying to save the girl at that particular time, it will be very difficult situation because the sea is the wave, and there's that kind of underwater current, and you have the sea waves. To try to even locate your victim, the person who is drowning, it's a problem. And because of this underwater current, which is sweeping in and hitting up and down, definitely. But what I believe he should have done or should have happened was, immediately that happened, should have powered the skid probably to the mainland and seek for help. Because at that moment, honestly, there's nothing he could do.
But it's instinct. Instinct comes first.
That is it. But to answer your other question concerning what you're experiencing in London.
I mean, just watch. It's a TV show. It's
in our downfall particular, we have an area for beach activities close to Maranatha Beach Camp and the rest. When we have events, we have a place that can take over 50,000 people in the water, that is on the riverside.
Okay.
So during those times, we have our lifeguards positioned at a certain strategic places, monitoring the swimmers. Okay, so in case of any eventuality, they are able to rush and save those, maybe the person who is drowning. But in this case, it was not a holiday season. It was people moving on their own personal vacation.
But they were at a resort where they should have had safety people, we're told.
Yes, but they moved,
further out.
If you know where Aqua Safari is in Bigada, and the estuary is in our downfall. Look at the distance. So it's quite a distance. Okay, so it will be very difficult for them in Aqua Safari to monitor their movement.
Unless there was a
probably
boat out there.
They will be escorted by a boat. That is where they can monitor their movement. Okay. That is the difficult aspect.
All right,
but we do have those mechanisms in place in our dam.
We
have the lifeguards.
Okay.
We have the lifeguards in place. We have our tour guides. Even we have a down tourist center that handles. The assembly is doing very well and supporting such initiative. Eco 3 Concept and Tourism Consorts too. We are also on the ground doing our best to support, make that area much safer. But a little advice I want to add is, when people want to embark on such a tour,
that you're not out there,
where they will not be sat, because every boat in our dam on our cruising is supposed to have a life jacket in it
for every passenger.
And sometimes it depends on the weight too.
All right, lastly, just very quickly, in your professional opinion, if both of them had lifeguards, and as you said, where they were with the current under the water, would that, lifeguards, life jackets on, the safety material, would that have helped in terms of them being able to at least float?
Yes, it would have sustained them for some time, at least till help comes. And it would depend on the type of the life jacket they are wearing
as well.
They are wearing as well. There are different type and sizes. So that also counts. It depends on the type of life jacket they are using.
Okay, Malcolm, I want to say a big thank you very much.
You're welcome.
From Eco 3 Concepts. He's the CEO. All right, the lifestyle segment has been focusing on cruising, in particular, the safety aspects and dangers of using jet skis.